Life Over Coffee. Conversations for transformation.
Mabel could not get a handle on her insecurity, burdened by a failed marriage, teenage children in rebellion, and too many relational conflicts to count. She was frustrated, she was angry, she was bewildered at how the same old things kept happening to her. And though she recognized she had a lifelong problem with anxiety, fear, and insecurity, she did not understand it or why it had such a stranglehold on her life. Proverbs 12:18 says, "There is one whose rash words are like sword thrust, but the tongue of the wise brings healing." As we began to chat, it quickly became apparent that her fear had initially taken a grip on her life. Mabel was the product of parents who had ongoing, unresolved conflict. Mabel had fussy parents. Kids know they need their parents to protect them. Though they cannot articulate this desire, they can sense when things are not right in the home. When things become dysfunctional, they typically become afraid. I have heard many adult children talk about how their fussy parents left them feeling alone, vulnerable, and scared that something terrible was going to happen to them. Because of their Adamic nature, fear comes with the human package. Children will panic when bad things happen, particularly between the only two people in their world who can protect them. Mabel says she panicked on the inside but had no one to share her fearful thoughts with. She internalized them because her primary protectors were on the verge of a marital meltdown. She said there were many nights she would just ball up and cry herself to sleep as she listened to the verbal sparring on the other side of her bedroom wall. Her parents told her that no one in their church was ever to find out what was going on in the home. Mabel kept her mouth shut, which only exacerbated the fear that was slowly sucking the life out of her. She lived with ever-present insecurity that one day she would come home and only to find her parents gone. Because she could not understand her chaotic home life, she drew the worst kinds of conclusions about the problems in her family. Mabel said most of their arguing was about money, and though it seemed like all roads led to an argument, it was money that kept coming up again and again. After a while, she stopped asking her mom for things. Mabel never said how badly she wanted what all of her friends had whenever there was a new fad or a new fashion. Her mom never picked up on the knot in Mabel's heart that was twisting her tighter and tighter. By the time Mabel was a teen, she had begun to look for security through any means possible. Though she did not dare to try out for anything like sports or cheerleading because her fear of failing was too intense. Her avenue of escape was through boys, a path that was the total unraveling of her life. Her craving for protection and love was so intense that it had blinded her to the common sense she should have possessed. She knew all her boyfriends were using her, still she dismissed the notion because of her 15 years of pent-up cravings for security that were uncontrollably lapping up any affection, approval that she could find from anyone. She was easy picking and she was glad. From her perspective, manipulating love from others was the path to freedom. Time to parent. Mabel's story is actually fictional, but it's true to too many boys and girls. These young people are now adults and the fallout still lingers in their souls and relationships. If you have a fussy home, you must repent now. Do not delay. Find help today. This is Parenting Day number 10. Fussy parents make insecure children.
Thanks for joining us. Learn more and get access to other resources at lifeovercoffee.com.